Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Okay, we're finally gonna get on to canning these peaches today. You know, we had a little detour this morning in that Ellen thought it would be a good idea if we went picking blackberries this morning, which we did. And I've just finished getting them all put down in the freezer. And now we're gonna move on to this last 20 pounds of peaches. Probably only gonna can about, well, less than 10 pounds of them today because there's supposed to be 10 pounds in each box. These are supposed to be number 15s of the Freestone, but you know, one's this big, one's this big. I don't know if you can see the difference in the box. They're pretty huge peaches. You could almost get one peach in a jar. Maybe a bit more. So anyway, I will do a canner load, which takes 7 pints, and I will see whether they take 1 peach or 1.5 peaches to fill a jar. And we'll move on and I'll show you all the different things I need to get started canning these peaches. Of course, the first thing you need are the peaches. These peaches I bought from the local store here, Thrifty Foods, here on Vancouver Island. They are on sale right now, 10 pounds for $9.99, which only makes them $1 a pound. I love these Freestone peaches they bring in every year from the Okanagan. They come in a little blister pack. Each peach is individual in its own little nest, which is nice. They're not together and they're not bruised, so it makes them a lovely peach to can. Next, you need a canner, unless you're going to try to freeze them, which I was going to do, but I don't have enough room left in my freezer to put bags and bags of peaches right now, so I have 2 freezers and they're getting pretty full. So you need a canner. This is a water bath canner, and it holds 7 pints. You could pressure can them and have a pressure canner, but then I have to haul it all up in the table and the propane tank. And peaches are just fine in the boiling water bath. And processed boiling for about 20 minutes was what we'll do them when we get to that stage. Next thing you'll need to have is a pot that you have water in that you can bring to a boil and just quickly blanch the peaches for probably less than a minute, and just enough to loosen off the skins. And once that's done, 30 seconds or less, you can scoop them out, and I will fill this with cold water and ice to quickly cool them down as soon as that time has passed. After that, when they're cool enough, I can start peeling off the skins. One of the other things you're going to need are canning jars, and I have a whole bunch of them in here that were still the ones left from when I was canning the other day, the first batches of these peaches, the first 10 pounds. They've already been through the dishwasher, and in a few minutes I'll turn the oven on to about 325 to bring them up to hot jars so they're sterilized again. Then to go along with those jars, of course, you're going to need the Bernardin lids and the bands. So, and I will just need 7 of those to do the canner. And I know that people have opinions and they're saying that you don't need to heat these anymore, but I still like to put a bit of water in a pot, heat them, and put these lids in so that the rubber gets a little bit soft so they have a better chance of sealing. One thing I like to do when I'm putting in these lids into this water just to keep them warm, I put 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, and so on, so that when you're trying to get them apart, they're not stuck together. It works. 1 up and 1 down. There, now they're all in there. I can keep them warm over there. And now I'm going to mix up the medium syrup that I'll use for that, which consists of 2 to 1. 2 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar. And I know from experience that 8 pints, I'll need double that to add to those peaches in those jars. So I'm going to do 4 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar for this light syrup. Light to medium syrup, actually. Just get this syrup ready and getting the lids ready and everything else ready while I'm waiting for the water to boil to blanch these peaches. I don't think I mentioned, so I'm going to put them from the boiling water into the ice water, colder. to cool them off. And then after I've peeled the skins off and I've actually cut them into 1/8 for each peach, whatever, wedges, I'm gonna put them into this bowl here that's gonna just have plain water and a bit of salt to save them from going brown before I get them packed into the jars. Okay, that's the 2 cups of sugar. And now I'm gonna add the 4 cups of water and stir that over low heat to let it dissolve. Okay, all right, just let me stir that. Sugar water mixture. Put it over a low heat. And we'll see how that hot water is getting ready to boil. And we'll choose some peaches to put in there. See which ones are the most ripe to get canned first. All right, I just about got this ice water getting chilled, adding ice to it so it's nice and cold. And the peaches, the water's just getting to start boiling. I'm going to very gently put them into that boiling water in just a minute. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How about that? 7 of them go in there. Sometimes with a little bit smaller peaches, 8 will go in this pan, but 7. Okay, quickly a timer, just for 1 quick minute, just to get those skins loosened up. Put that 1 piece back over there for now, and we'll see how many these actually, how many jars they fill. Oh, they're already starting to be loosening off. So I'll get doing that, and then I will move this over to here, the ice water. Can see, ooh, these skins are loosening up. I'm going to start lifting them out of here. Putting them into this ice water. Turn that off. Turn the timer off. And there we go. Okay. Those are cooling down, and they fit in there too. And I'll let them cool down for a bit in this ice water. And then I will show you how I go about peeling them. Okay, the moment of truth. See how these peel off. Now some people just go with their hands, with their fingers like this, try to get it off, peel. I just use a knife very gently and peel. Sometimes they come off better than this. Usually when they're freestone, they're pretty easy to peel. And once I just get that all off of there, try not to make too many dings in them. You like to have lovely looking peaches when you're canning them. Let's cut it off of there. So that's nice. And just, you know, right now, until I get them all done, just to get the skins off them, I'm going to put them into this water over here that I put some salt in, just to keep them from going brown before I decide to slice them up. So I'll just keep working on those. Next one, they're nice and cool now with that ice in there. And I'll do these, and then we'll move on to slicing them. All right. I have 7 of these peaches skinned and floating in the salted water. I've done 3 more that I have in the ice water bath cooling off, because I thought, you know, really I need about 10. We'll see how that goes, how many I need for those 7 jars. And here's the peels, a little bit of peels. And I have moved that boiling water bath off of there and replaced it with the canner full of water, because it takes a while to bring that canner up to boiling. So we'll work on that, and I'll get peeling the skins off of these 3, and then I'll start slicing these up. That's what I do. Go into there, half, and whatever size, and they just lift right out. Whoops, didn't get wet. Nice size. Now I didn't count how many I was getting out of those, but it doesn't really matter. I usually got about 7. These are a bit bigger, maybe. Maybe I'm gonna get 8 slices out of them. Let's see this one, let's count it. Okay, 1 slice into there. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about half. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay, I'll just carry on with those and slice all those up, and then we'll start bringing out those hot jars and loading the peaches into them. All right, we're just about ready to start putting these peaches into these hot jars that I just took out of the oven. I'd forgotten this new canner. Before, my old canner that was just like this, it had dividers. You could only just do 6 and 1 in the middle, 7 jars. But this new canner actually has, there are no dividers in here, and so you can actually do 8 pints. So I just calculated a little bit, and so I brought out 8 jars, and we'll see, I might need an extra peach, we'll see. So what I'm going to do right now, we're still waiting for that canner to get up to boiling. I'm going to take some of these peaches, and I'm going to strain the salted water off of them, because I found that if I just try to lift them out like this and pack them in, I end up with an awful lot of that wet water that might be salty. So I'll strain them first and then start packing them into these hot jars, and I'll be right back to show you how I do that. Okay, strain some of these now. Flip them over. Not too hot, not burning my fingers off. Let's do 3 at once here. Let's see how we do. So I lay them into the bottom around the edge like that. Try to get them as tight as possible. And then another one there, and another one over this side. Here, another one here, and another one here, just up to the line, and just right about there. So that's how I do it, just like that. Okay, it doesn't seem to matter how tight. You can't put them too high up here. The liquid's got to go there, and when they actually are in the pressure canner, they seem to cook down, and you always end up that they float and tightly pack. But that's okay. They taste delicious any way you look at it. So that's how they'll all be packed into the jars. And I will just continue and finish loading all of these 8 jars and show you when I start putting in the syrup in a few minutes. Well, how about that? 2, 4, 6, 7. This is the 8th one. I did 10 peaches, and I have this much left to fill in this jar. Which is exactly, does anybody leave another little slice? Maybe over here. That's about it. I have exactly this much left. So that was pretty darn close, eh? I thought I might have an whole extra peach left, or not have enough. Actually, this one here could use this probably right on here. Shoved into there. So, that means I only have this tiny little bit of scrap left. Wow, that's excellent. Good planning. I'll remember that. Mark it down so I remember when I do the next batch. Because I think today I better do 2 batches of these. It's only 3:30. So, okay, so now what I'm going to do next is add this syrup. Okay, here we go with the syrup. Now what I will be doing is getting a knife. I could use this one. And just when they're full, just put the knife down the sides and just lightly press them around to get some of the air bubbles out. And I like to leave the liquid down about that depth. So I will just go ahead and fill all these with the syrup. And then I will wipe off the bands and put on the lids and see how that water's coming with the boiling. This one might just be a little bit too full. Slice a bit of that peach off. Put it back down into there. And then I'll take this little one out too. It's a little bit too full maybe. Got a little bit overzealous with putting some of these slices in. Don't want to have them too full. All right. Okay, for that. Wet paper towel, just gently wipe off any overspill, any little chunk of peach syrup, whatever. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's all of them. And then I'm going to bring these lids over here that have been heating in the water. Lift them out, give them a tap, and stick them onto those jars. Like I said, everyone's flipped a different way in here, so they're not stuck together and you're not trying to pry them apart. Just like this. Okay. Uh-oh. You see, I thought I only had 7 jars and there's actually 8. So I will quickly take one more lid, put it into that hot water, let it sit there while I get these bands on. And I'll do that right now. Okay, and also had to retrieve an 8th band. All those years of using that other water bath canner that only took 7 jars, and I have that in the brain, and I can get 8 in there. So I like to put these on nice. They're free spinning. Tighten them hand tight, too tight. Okay. Like this with my finger, make sure they're nice and smooth. You know, I reuse these bands, and they do tend to sometimes get a little rusty inside. So you're always, you know, trying to make sure that they're smooth and that they're 3. I think I'll just do 4 right now. And so what I do when I'm putting them in the canner, I'm going to drop them in balanced on this side and on this side, and then the opposite side, so they don't, so the canner doesn't tip. So I'm going to just start doing that and get them in there, and then I'll come back and do these other 4 jars. Okay, here we are, balanced peaks, balanced this way, and then I'll quickly do these other ones. And because you just never know how deep when you drop the jars in, and especially when I'm just using this newer canner that I've hardly used. I've got some water boiling in my kettle over there in case when I go to put them down, the jars aren't covered, and I'll just be able to add some boiling water to them at that time, so it still stays close to a boil. Okay, all right, I'll just finish up these last couple of jars, and then we'll be ready to drop it into the water. Also, I'll just get this last lid out of this hot water. Seeing as people say you don't even need to do that anymore. And get this one on here like this. That one in the middle. And just move these around ever so carefully. Balanced. And get that in there. There. Nice. Seems weird not to have the old wire that actually had dividers that kept the jars apart, but then you can only do 7, so it's a toss-up, right? Seems to go against the grain to have them touching, but not much you can do about it. Okay, drop that down. They're actually all covered, but I like to have a little bit more than that in. And I hope that lid goes on with that one sticking up like that. And I guess it does, yes. And now I'm just gonna go get some boiling water because I like to have it a lot deeper. It's harder with quartz because they're so tall. You can't get a lot of extra water head space above them. But these pints, I can certainly add some more water to it. I'll just add some more to that, just to make it extra deep. Okay, on high, and we'll put the lid on, and I will go to my handy dandy old Kerr canning thing. I don't even think it has a front page anymore. Maybe it does. It's Kerr and old. And the timetable for fruits is right here. In that, peaches in the pints, in the boiling water bath, says 25 minutes actually for pints. And so we'll go with that. I'll wait till it comes to a full boil and then I'll do them for 25 minutes. Little correction there. We are at sea level and it actually says that peaches for the pints is 20 minutes, which I had originally said it was 20, and then I looked at this and the columns and I thought it was 25, but it's actually 20 as I originally said. So 20 minutes boiling water bath as soon as that comes to a full rolling boil. Now while I'm waiting for that to get up to boiling and everything, I'm going to start getting everything ready for the next batch. I had a bit of the syrup left over from those and probably half a cup. So instead of 4 cups of water and 2 cups of sugar, I'm going to do 1.5 cups of sugar and 3 cups of water and make just a little bit less. So hopefully it'll be exactly as much as I need when it comes time to do the next 8 pints. Okay. And I'm going to run downstairs and get more lids and 5 more peaches because I have 5 left in that box and I need 5 more. Okay, wow, that all worked out. Who knew? I had 5 peaches left in that box. I went downstairs to the other 10-pound box. I took out 5 more. There's actually 15 in each box, so there's 10 more, which is exactly how many I need to do 8 more pints tomorrow morning is when I'll do those. And I've got enough now to do 8 more again after these ones that have just started boiling. So I've put the timer on for 20 minutes and I have this water starting to heat up to blanch these. And I have some cold water over there that I'm going to add ice cubes to, and we're chugging right along. Once you get the whole process going, it's not so bad, you know. If you just, you know, it kind of flows. If you don't have any interruptions, and thank goodness the kids are older and I don't have any little children running around, because that makes it really hard, especially when you got a lot of boiling water around and you're worried about somebody getting scalded. So I'm going to get busy and get those ice cubes into that water so it's nice and cold when these come out of this boiling water bath. All right, timer's gone off. I'll lift this lid off. Here somewhere. Wait for a minute. Lids, just so it's not hot on top of my counter. And I'm going to go like this. And this is up here. This is up here. Lift these out very carefully. Sorry, hang them like this. And then over here I have a big wooden cutting board that I use for this kind of stuff. So lift it up like this very carefully, and carry over to here, plunk down on there. There we go. Don't those look lovely? 8 jars of peaches canned for the winter. So, and more of them over there for 8 more jars, and then 8 more again tomorrow. So, depending how many you feel like canning and putting away and how many there are in your family, you can gauge. Last year I canned 21 jars. I kind of rationed them. I eat them more than Alan. And I was down to 2 jars. So this year I'm doing, instead of 20 pounds, I'm doing the 30 pounds. So hopefully I'll have lots and to share with the grandchildren. So I hope you guys have learned something from this video. That canning peaches doesn't have to be too intimidating for you. My daughter Amanda got back to me with a text last night she said, I think she said she tried canning peaches yesterday, and it was kind of a cute little, what do you call it, emoji of a monkey with his hands over his eyes like this, and she thinks she'll pass and try to learn how to can peaches. So hopefully she'll watch this video, and the next time she's trying to can, she'll remember it, and I'll be able to go up when the kids aren't feeling under the weather at her house and worried about getting grandma sick, and I will give her a hand and show her that it's not too bad at all. So, okay, move along to putting these into the jars. I just want to point out something about these Bernardin lids this year. First of all, they have new packaging. They actually have one-time use only on the front. I don't know if I've ever had that in the old packages. And it says it seals up to 18 months. Never seen them actually list that they have a time that it's up, they seal up to 18 months. I've had jars sealed for a number of years and they've been fine. I've had some of them lose their seal within a few months or a year, but seals up to 18 months. So now they're not guaranteeing them really past that kind of time. So that's something to take note of. And maybe I should consider looking into reusable lids that everybody's talking about and see how those will work out. They may have them at Canadian Tire. I should check next time because, you know, these are like $5 a package now. And so they're not cheap. So maybe it's time to start using reusable ones and maybe being a bit more environmentally friendly. Although I do recycle all my metal lids, so at least there's that. All right, out of curiosity, I decided to do a little investigation, and I dug out of the recycling one of the old boxes of the Bernardin lids, and there is absolutely nowhere on that box that it says what the new ones say, that they seal up to 18 months, and they also are one-time use only. Interesting that after all these years, I guess people are becoming more aware and somebody put in a complaint possibly, who knows. Anyways, just so you know, that was never on there before. Okay, that's it for today. Got 16 jars here. Tomorrow morning I'll do the other 8 and I'll be all done. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do this canning of these peaches. Inspires you to make your own. Go out and buy peaches and can them. And I'll let you guys go and you stay safe, okay? Bye-bye.